This is a story of a girl who can shapeshift and helps the CIA. Hello and welcome back to every recap ever. Today we are seeing a 2023 sci-fi movie called Shifter. Be sure to like and subscribe for more recaps like this. In Las Vegas, some higher-ups gather in secret to discuss their deal. To not make it so obvious, they do these deals in the cover of gambling. Their server, Tara, is actually a CIA agent. She has placed a secret camera to record their talks and faces. However, one of them notices the camera and confronts her. She has then no option left but to fight. She defeats the men and hands them to the authorities. Few days later, Tara returns to LA to meet her dad. He is proud of her work, but secretly he wishes to spend some more time with his daughter. Suddenly, she gets a call from her boss named Hope. She tells her about another undercover job and she leaves the place. She prepares for a job and goes undercover to a club to gather information. While doing her job, she gets an urgent call from the hospital. She immediately rushes to the hospital and finds her dad in a critical condition. Apparently he had a heart attack while going home, and now he doesn't have much time. While mourning, she gets a call from Hope about a rescue mission. One of their agents who went to gather information from a terrorist group got caught, and he is currently hiding. She tries to explain to Hope that she can't go, however they are in a dire state, as she is the closest one to the location. So with no other choice, she decides to go find the agent. She finds him hiding in a random boat at the pier. However, he is in a critical condition. He hands her a package and asks her to get this last gift to his daughter. He then tells her about the bomb placed by the terrorists. Suddenly, some terrorist men come to the boat, but Tara takes care of them. She then somehow tracks the location of their gang boss and goes to confront him. After taking care of all the men and even disarming the bomb, she immediately goes to the hospital. However, it's too late and her father has already passed away. She feels defeated but still gives the gift agent left for her daughter. She then goes to talk to her boss, Hope. Tara is furious that she couldn't be with her dad because of the job. However, Hope tries to make her understand that her duty comes first. She needs to be prepared for these things when it comes to being a CIA agent. She feels disoriented and decides to go home and sleep. A month later, she wakes up with no memories. She gets greeted by Hope and the doctor. According to them, she just had a surgery and her memories will eventually resurface. They have implanted several new DNAs in her brain. It's a new technology where, if she injects someone's DNA in her, she can transform her body into that person. Basically, the implanted DNA in her brain will make a copy and transform her body. She doesn't understand why they did this to her. Hope tells her that she volunteered herself for this procedure. She was feeling lost after her father's death and decided to test this technology. They show her memories of Tara being an agent and her memories start coming back. For the next step, they need to test her abilities. So they take her to a room full of criminals in an unconscious state. There are some syringes with their relatives' DNAs. Her task is to take the form of their relatives and take out information from the captives. She immediately takes DNAs and starts taking out information from the captives. However, she notices that some of the memories of the people also get transferred upon consuming their DNA. She then ends the task with taking Maeve's form, who is one of the criminals' wives. Tara keeps Maeve's form and goes to her next task. She now has to fight a martial artist to check her fighting abilities are still intact. After an intense fight, Maeve's memories start affecting Tara and she starts behaving aggressively. Somehow Tara takes control of her actions and takes a syringe to convert back to her original self. Later, Tara goes to meet Hype. He is somewhat concerned about seeing her previous aggressive behavior. He even starts suspecting that Maeve's memories might be affecting her. Hype then asks her to go home and take some rest. Few days later, he urgently calls for another job. Apparently, the Russian mafia has infiltrated the Russian embassy, and they are planning to take over some mines in Africa. Her job is to infiltrate the embassy and take their files regarding the mines. Hype even provides her with the DNA of some random woman. However, Tara steals some of Maeve's DNA before leaving for the mission. The next scene, we see the mafia members have captured Maeve. Their leader comes to question her about her purpose. However, she acts like she doesn't know anything. So it turns out, a woman sneaked into the embassy and defeated their men and even stole some files. But they don't remember what she looked like. Maeve tries to convince them that she is just a journalist and researching for the channel. The boss then calls the receptionist, as she was there during that fight. However, the receptionist tells them it was a different woman who beat their men. In the end, they don't have anything to prove against Maeve, but they can't leave her alive, as she has seen their secret. The boss accidentally even spills the information about mines and the file's location. One of his men comes with security footage. The boss asks his men to take Maeve somewhere and unalive her. While watching the footage, the boss sees the woman beating his men and transforming her body. Meanwhile, Maeve takes care of the guys and goes to meet the boss. She starts fighting everyone in the room, and without breaking a sweat, manages to defeat them. Yeah, In case you have not figured it out, she is actually Tara. She then takes the files of the mines and goes to meet the Hype. Hype is angry at her for stealing Maeve's DNA. However, she explains that Maeve was necessary for this mission. Even though she is behaving perfectly fine, Hype notices small behavior changes in Tara. It's as if Maeve's memories are growing strong on Tara. The next day, Hype tells her about what he found in the files. So according to the information, a mysterious mine has been found in Africa, and some people from Africa are secretly going to smuggle some humans to work in the mines. They are coming to the UK to make this deal and buy some people in secret to work in the mines. Few days later, the people from Africa come to the meeting point. They get greeted by the smuggler and he takes them to his secret warehouse guarded by the armed men. The Africans see the captive people before buying but notices something weird. The smuggler opens the door and sees one of his armed men unconscious with the captives. Suddenly Tara, who was in the form of an armed man, starts attacking everyone. She takes care of everyone and defeats the leader. Africans, now that they have left with no other choice, finally break their silence. So these guys found a mine in Africa with a glowing mineral. They don't want to tell anyone about it and use the money generated from the mines to help and improve the country's life. That was the reason they had to smuggle some people to work in the mines. Tara promises them that they will have the right to the mines. After completing her mission, she goes to meet Hype. She talks about their right to the mines, however Hype tells them that is not possible. They are going to confiscate the mine, and since they have seen Tara use her powers, they have to unalive them. This totally makes her furious. She stops believing Hype and even starts questioning about her memories. She remembers her dad being in a hospital. He was in critical condition, but she finds it weird that he was dead as soon as she completed her mission. However, Hype just distracts her and asks her to be prepared for her new mission. A few days later, she gets a mission to guard a North Korean refugee. The Korean government has come to the USA to take him back to their country. So, her job is to stop him from leaving their country. She completes her job and even protects him from the Korean executives. However, he tells her that he wants to leave this country and settle in Europe. He was pretending to go with the Koreans, but he was going to ditch them and fly off to Europe with his family. He knows that if he stays there in America, he will be nothing more than a slave to the government. Tara understands his situation and asks him to leave this country, while she is going to pretend like he escaped. The next day, she lies to Hype about him escaping. Hype is very suspicious of her behavior and even has an argument with her. Tara now starts suspecting Hype even more. She knows that there is something big happening behind her back, but since some of her memories are still not there, she can't point it out. Tara then goes home and starts thinking about the situation. She immediately goes to meet the doctor who performed surgery and asks her to remove DNA from her. However, it is not possible as it has been infused with her DNA now. Tara then asks about if she really allowed herself to undergo this surgery. The doctor is scared of her and finally tells that she did all this on Hype's order. They were doing these experiments secretly and there were many test subjects before her. However, they all failed to adapt to this power. Only Tara managed to control these DNA. This makes Tara even more furious and she takes the form of the doctor. She acts like the doctor and tries to fool Hype. However, Hype's men find the real doctor tied up in her house and tell him. He then confronts Tara. So the mastermind behind this finally tells her the truth. He came across a weird mineral in the mines in the past. Hype and Tara's dad were working on this DNA project. Hype wanted to use this technology to take over the world. However, Tara's dad was against it. So he assigned her to the rescue mission which we saw previously and unalived Tara's dad. He even erased her memories of forcing this experiment on her. Tara just can't take it any longer, hearing his yapping. She attacks him and they start fighting. Even though Hype is much stronger than her, she somehow manages to defeat him. She unalives him and ends this chapter once and for all. Few months later, she goes to the pier where she last talked with her dad. Suddenly, while walking, she remembers her dad saying something about number 10. Tara then sees a shack with the same number. She quickly goes to the beach and starts digging the area near the shack. She finds a bottle with a note. It's the note from her dad saying he has left some of his DNA with his memories in the bottle. If she ever feels like talking to him, just use the DNA. The end. So there you have it, another recap done and dusted. I hope you enjoyed the video, so drop a like and subscribe. We will see you in the next video.